Good, thanks, yourself.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, we're all recording. Ready when you are then, Jeremy, please.
Sure. Well, hi, Zach. Well, everyone's had their say on the pitch last week. I mean, what was your own verdict, and is it going to be the same thing again, do you think, albeit with a different ball this week?
Yeah, I think it will be a very similar pitch this week, and you know, why wouldn't it be? You know, they played very well on the last two pitches with the turns. You know, it wasn't easy to score for sure, but it was the same for both sides, and you know, they played very well, to be fair to them. So you know, we had our chance. We backed first on it as well, and unfortunately, we didn't play as well as we needed to.
You actually batted really well, of course, on the first day. I mean, how pleasing was that? And what do you need to do to kind of, you know, pull off a big score, do you think, this week?
Yeah, it was nice to score some runs. Obviously, I probably had the best of it facing the seamers early, but still nice to score some runs nonetheless. And you know, in these conditions, I think you just gotta have a clear game plan before I go in there, and also you need a lot of luck. And hopefully, I'm going to try and have the game plan, and then hopefully the luck comes my way as well, and get a good score.
Do the England batsmen, though, need to take on Axar and Ashwin in slightly a different way? I mean, Ian Chappell's been suggesting that you guys need to use your feet more, get down the track. I mean, does it need to be a kind of change of emphasis in this Test match?
Possibly. I mean, it depends how the ball plays. You know, like I say, it's a different ball. It might not do as much, in which case, you know, you don't have to change too much and just play your natural game. Obviously, if it looks like it's going to be just as tricky, and it plays the same way with one skidding and one turning, then obviously I think we do need to be a bit more proactive, perhaps. Having learned from that in the last game, you know, it's difficult at the time, but now we've had a chance to reflect on that game. If it plays the same, I think, yeah, we could be a bit more proactive.
Yeah, I mean, Axar got you out twice, Zach. I mean, your thoughts about the threat he's posing, particularly, you know, with 18 wickets in just 2 Test matches now?
Yeah, you know, he's a very good bowler. Especially in these conditions, you know, he's extremely accurate. He doesn't give you much to score, and he's got one that goes straight on in these conditions and one that turns. So, you know, he's a very good bowler. But you know, we've played against a few good bowlers this series and managed to score some good runs and win some Test matches. So there's no reason why we can't do that again this Test.
I know you were asked about this before the Test match, but you've now sort of, you know, played 3 Test matches in Sri Lanka and India this winter. You've got out to left arm spin on 6 occasions. I mean, is this a big issue for you, and how do you know, counteract that, do you think?
No, I don't think it's a big issue. You know, it's just that I've been bowled some good balls, and I'm facing a lot of left arm spin. I'm facing, you know, pretty much spin from both ends the whole time. I'm going to get out to one of the spinners, unless I get 200 not out or something like that. But you know, you're going to have to get out some way, and one of them's going to be an off spinner, one of them's going to be a left armer, and for a right-handed batsman, you know, the left arm is going to pose more of a challenge. You know, the one ball is going to skid on and tap stumps, and if I miss it, I'm going to be out. Whereas, you know, if Ashwin, who's an unbelievable bowler, as we all know, but if I play him, if one goes straight on from him, I'm just going to miss it and going to be not out, aren't I? So it's just those difficulties that right-handers face, and that's why left-handers find it so hard against Ashwin.
Sure. Just finally, Zach, I mean, most people are writing England off in this series now, but is there a way back, and how are we going to do it?
There's definitely a way back. You know, we've already won. We're only one game down. We've won the great Test and first Test match. It's going to require us to, you know, get a good first innings lead, I think, and that's going to require us to bat really well. You know, our bowlers have been doing nicely, bowling out for 145. If we can replicate that and then get a nice lead in the first innings, that'll put them under a lot of pressure, I think.
Cheers, thank you.
Scott Taylor, please.
Hey, Zach, well batted in the last Test match. How much confidence does that give you returning to the same venue, knowing that you can score runs on that wicket?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got confidence for sure. Just spending time in the middle, getting a sighter for their bowlers. You know, I feel like having faced their bowlers, I've got better game plans now. So, you know, I feel confident going into this game for sure.
And there's a lot of talk about Kevin Peterson was actually part of our team, and he said the biggest thing for a young player is to fail at the highest level so they can learn from it. And now looking ahead to your career for England, you've got the Ashes, you might return to India one day in the future. How big a learning curve was that last Test match for this young group of players?
Yeah, it's a great learning curve, you know, and it's just not just the on-field stuff, it's the off-field stuff. Obviously, I'm fortunate I don't have social media, but I've heard a few of the lads who do have social media saying that, you know, there was quite a bit said about the last game, and it's all about dealing with that kind of stuff at this level. And I think that's one of the biggest differences I've found with this level compared to playing county cricket, is dealing with that exterior pressure that people put on you and you put on yourself because you want to do well. So, you know, it's a great learning experience for us to come up against some of the best players in the world. And, you know, if we can perform, then we just take loads of confidence for that going down the line.
I know you mentioned the reaction there to that last test match, but at the end of the day, a win in this test match and you come away from this winter with a series win in Sri Lanka and a 2-2 draw against India.
Yeah, that'd be an unbelievable performance. You know, they would be very disappointed with a drawn series, I'm sure, and we'd be very happy with that, especially obviously given one game left. So, you know, it's an unbelievable winter if we can pull off, you know, 4 out of the 6 test matches.
What's the mood been like amongst the younger guys who have not necessarily kicked on in terms with the bats throughout this series? Have they still remained upbeat? Yeah,
absolutely. You know, I'm not sure who you're referring to, but you know, we all know how tough it's been. None of that, you know, so they've got great players on their side and they've struggled for runs as well. So it's not like, you know, they're scoring millions and we're scoring none. It's been a pretty low scoring encounter, especially the last game. So, you know, we still got loads of confidence in our ability. And, you know, it's like we said in the last question, it's all a learning experience and we'll be better for sure.
Perfect. Good luck this week.
Will McPherson, please.
Hi, Zach. I just wanted to ask about the load that Joe Root has been carrying. He obviously scored those 3 big hundreds at the start of the winter. He's also bowling quite a lot now and taking wickets while also captaining. Does he carry that weight lightly? Do you guys feel a kind of pressure at the end of this series to kind of help him out a little bit? It's been a kind of, at times it's been almost a one-man show, isn't it? How well he's been playing.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's an unbelievable player, and you know, if you know Joe, like we all do, you know that he actually loves all that. So I don't think it's he's feeling like he's carrying us at all. I think he's absolutely loving being one of the best players, or the best player on our side, and one of the best players in the world, and obviously contributing with the ball and as captain. So you know, obviously, I don't think he minds carrying that load at all. I think he loves being, you know, just performing for England like he always has done throughout his career. So you know, obviously, we'd love to help him out, but it's not so much that about helping him out. It's just so we just love to perform for England so we can get a win, and you know, we know how much it means to him, and you know, given the performances he's put in this winter, I think you know, it'd be nice if, you know, we could all chip in for a good team win this last game.
Cheers.
Rob Johnston, please.
Hi, Zach. I just wondered about training over the last couple of days and if you've done anything as a group particularly different to try and prepare for the conditions you might face, because I guess there's a balance to be struck between making practice very difficult but also not making it so difficult you don't have confidence going into the next game.
Yeah, we haven't been doing too much different, to be honest. It's quite difficult to replicate their bowlers. You know, Axar Patel's a very unique bowler, as is Ashwin. So it's more about just getting your headspace right. And, you know, obviously we've been practicing on spinning wickets, and then obviously, which is tough. And then you get your feel-good nets as well to make yourself feel confident. So it shouldn't change too much. It's more of a mental thing that might change a little bit, and making sure our game plans are right for this game.
And just on that game plan thing, when you know, what sort of things are you thinking about when you're looking at how you're going to play this? You know, there's certain shots that you just think, actually, for this game, I'm going to take those out of the consideration, given the bowlers that you're facing.
Potentially, yeah. It's one of those things, I think, where you practice all the game plans in the nets, and then you decide on the game plan when you're there in the middle, and you know, it's impossible to come up with a game plan before. Almost, it's like you prepare all different sorts of game plans, and then you decide on the day, all right, this is the one I'm going to go with today because of this wicket. But until I'm out there on the wicket and seeing how the ball's turning or if it's skidding on, you know, you can't really commit to that game plan just yet. But yeah.
Great, thanks.
Sriram Vera, please.
Yeah, hi. I think in 2018 or 19, you came down to India, Bombay in monsoons. Then you drove down to Pune for a spring camp. Could you talk about what went down there and what you learned, and vis-a-vis the work that you do with Noddy Taylor in Australia? Do you only do pace training against pace bowling with him? Basically, the Indian experience vis-a-vis Noddy Taylor.
Yeah, Noddy Holder. Yeah, in Pune, I was keen to work on my defence. To build my defence against spin. Obviously, that was a few years ago now, but I felt like to be able to score runs in these conditions, you've got to have a really solid defence. As we've seen, Joe's defence is phenomenal against spin, and that allows him to attack, as with several of their players. And again, with Noddy Holder, yeah, I've been to see Noddy quite a few times to work on a few things. He's, probably the best batting coach I've ever worked with, so I enjoy going back to see him. I just, kind of work on all sorts of stuff with him, but mainly pace stuff, obviously, in Australia.
Who did you work with? Sorry, one more, just a follow-up. Who did you work in Pune in India? Which camp?
What? Sorry, say that again, please.
Who did you work with during the Indian sojourn in Pune? Who did you work with? Which camp was it?
No, it was, I went there on my own. I went there with Adam Riley from Kent, who bowled at me, but also some local Indians. Sachin Bajaj organised it for me to go on my own.
Gaurav Gupta, please.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. I wanted to ask you, do you think going forward, I mean, the last match was played with the pink ball, and Joe Root and a lot of people told us that, the pink ball skids onto the bat faster, and that was perhaps an issue in the previous test. So do you think change of the color of the ball, and now that it's a normal red SG ball, do you think batting will be slightly easier going into this test match?
It depends on the pitch, obviously, but I think if it's the same pitch, I do think it would be slightly easier. I felt like the pink ball was a bit harder and therefore skidded on quite quickly, which is why we saw XR get so many wickets, LBW and bowled. I think he still has that ball in his armoury for sure, and he'll still be a massive threat with that one. But I think it might not skid on with the same pace as the pink ball, but for sure we'll still be, watching it. It won't be completely different.
Thanks.
Thank you, Gaurav. And last of all now, please, Rory Dollard.
Hi, Zach. Obviously, you guys can't now qualify for the World Test Championship final, but for India, it's very much a live issue. Do you think that adds anything to the dynamic of the game, or changes how pressurised things might get in the middle for them if things slip away, perhaps, because it's a big prize to play for?
Well, I can't speak on their behalf, but in terms of us, I mean, it's still, it doesn't change anything for us. It's a massive game. And obviously it'd be a big game for them as well. They'll want to be in that Test Championship final. So, there's still loads to play for. And, whether it's the Test Championship or not, you want to win every Test match you play.
Okay, everyone. Thank you very much indeed. Take care and see you tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.